Welcome, loyal subjects, to another episode of Touchables. Today, we're going to be playing Clash Royale. This is an amazingly addictive game by Supercell that actually already came out in Europe and Canada, but is relatively new to the United States, and I'm already addicted. It sort of plays like a combination of Hearthstone, Command and Conquer, and tower defense games. Super duper fun, super addicting, and totally not what I expected. I'm going to give you guys a few tips to optimize your beginning experience so that you can get to the meat and potatoes of the game as soon as possible. Let's get good and let's get there fast. So first things first, letting you guys know, we're starting from the very beginning of the game, and let's just jump into it. And the first couple levels are just sort of walking you through, teaching you how to use the different items. Actually, let's see if we can just get through this. So we're gonna start on this screen, and what you'll notice is it unlocked a treasure chest. Now to open treasure chests, you have to click on them and then start to unlock them. At first, they're gonna have very short lead times. This one's only 15 seconds, so you can just wait for it. But later on, they're gonna be 3 hours, 14 hours, depending on the chest that you got. Now, when you open the chest, you're gonna get a bunch of different goodies. First of all, you always get gold, which you'll need to upgrade your characters. You'll get additional cards to upgrade the abilities of your cards. Like I got the arrow, the knight, and those. Okay, so I got 3 cards. Then you're gonna be able to go into the card screen and level them up, which you always wanna do. But you have a lot of gold, so upgrade whenever you can, because that's gonna help you win battles early on. So the beginning of the game is loaded with a bunch of tutorials, which obviously you have to play through. Learn the basics of the game, like placement, things like that. But now we're gonna get into the beginning of player versus player interaction. Now you'll notice every couple of hours you're gonna get a free chest here up in the upper left. Open that whenever you can, because you wanna start the ball rolling on the next chest. I got some gold, got some gems, got some arrows, archers. You get a lot of stuff in these, it's really good. After you complete your training, you'll get your first silver chest, which you can start opening, and you'll notice it takes 3 hours to unlock. So start that process as well. You'll notice that I got the Musketeer and the Prince card, which are both very strong cards, and you're gonna be using those to advance through the beginning stages of the game. Now at first, you don't really have a whole lot of options in terms of what you can build, but I did get a Goblin in one of my random draws. And I don't really need the fireball at the beginning of the game as much, so I'm gonna replace the Goblin with the fireball. Because at the low levels, nobody's dealing a ton of damage. You don't need to inflict that much. You just have to out-strategize the other players. And I believe that having more minions to move forward with at the right times can sometimes be beneficial at the very beginning of the game when you're planning your attack strategies. So let's go into one. Battle Arena. So now we're actually going to be playing AZL. Now there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Most people will start being super aggressive at the beginning, but I like to start back here with some characters to let my elixir fill up. And then whenever I can draw a Prince and a Musketeer at the beginning, I do, because they inflict so much damage together right there at that bridge. That's a very classic opening that I like to use. They're all going to try and stop that giant. And don't worry, your towers will do a ton of defense. What you really want is to get them to waste resources and you to still have resources on the table. Now you'll see how much farther ahead I am than the enemy. I've already done a ton of damage to his first tower. I've got tons of elixir built up. I've already taken out his first defense. I'm way ahead. Now he's gonna be struggling to keep up. Once you open up their side of the field, drop a giant in there, they're gonna have to waste a ton of resources to get in there. They're gonna be dealing with the giant. And look, I got lucky enough and I drew another Prince. So I'm gonna be dropping him down here, give him some time to charge, let my elixir charge up as well. And by the time he's ready to get over there and do some damage, he's at full charge, which he does more damage when he's charging. Hits that field, and then boom, drop a Musketeer to back him up. The Musketeer does a lot of damage. And as you can see, his main tower is about to fall, and we won our first match. That was a really aggressive play. I went very aggro and not defensive, which you can do both of. But at the beginning of the game, you pretty much have the same cards as everybody else. So it's just about how you use your pieces. So let's jump into another battle and see how it goes. But again, you'll notice that most players will drop off their characters right in front of the bridge. And I like to start here. I'll start with a giant back here because giants are very slow. So I want him to start, see, look how close he is. He's gonna start taking damage before my giant even reaches him from the towers. He's almost gonna be dead by the time he gets down there. And now with my Prince charging in, he's pretty much good as dead. I'll put some goblins down just to do some additional DPS, just so he doesn't do too much damage. And yeah, he hurt my tower, but look how many pieces I already have on the battlefield. Look how much better my positioning is. I still have my Prince, a Musketeer, and he just killed my last Goblin. But now I've got 2 strong pieces, full strength, hitting his base. And they're gonna take it out, so I'm gonna wait for it to go down, boom, then I'm gonna drop a Knight. So if he puts units down to stop me, bam, full charge, hits the main tower. His Knight's now gotta deal with my smaller units, I'm gonna put a bomber here so that when he's probably gonna put some goblins or something down. Boom, he blows them both up. The bomber does AoE damage to small units. Get that knight charging in there. So you're just relentless. You're just getting on top of the opponent as early as possible. You're thinking about what moves they can do, and you're just doing it before they can. See, all he can do now is attack my tower, and we win again. These are just some tactics to consider when you're starting to move you forward faster in the game, beat your opponents early on, so you're not lingering in the lower stages for too long. Another amazing strategy that most people probably don't utilize is go over to the the TV Royale channel, and here you can see some top tier players going at it. And you can watch their games and highlights of their games, and you can see what cards they're using, and in some of these cases, it looks like the Prince is still in use. You'll notice that the cards have different classifications. So there's basic cards, there's rare, and then there are epic cards. The Prince is an epic, so he's probably viable all the way through the game. And as you level them up, which you want to do as soon as possible, they'll become stronger. But keep in mind the kind of characters that they are. Like the bomber, I probably take out a little bit sooner because he becomes less viable than some of the other cards you start drawing as you advance. But the giant, the musketeer, the prince, they're all really good cards. Even the knight, as you level them up, will remain consistently good. So try to focus on those cards and then build your deck around them, at least in the beginning stages of the game. Another tip I wanted to give you guys is you'll notice that you start with quite a bit of gems already. And if you want to get an even higher leg up on the competition very, very early on, don't be afraid to spend those gems. You're gonna be building them back up over time anyway. So this one costs 18 gems to open, so I'm just gonna do it. And it's a silver chest, so it's gonna have a little bit extra in it. So my knight gets a level up, my archers, I got more gold, my bomber, and I still have 84 gems. So I like to tear through these chests at the very beginning. So yeah, there you go guys, a few tips and tricks to help you optimize your early game in Clash Royale. So hit us up on Twitter, let me know what you thought of this review, let me know how it's working for you. And as you guys learn more tips, tweet at us and let us know, because who knows, we might do some more episodes for advanced techniques later on. Thank you guys for watching Touchables, and we'll see you on the battlefield. Bye.